shit. Okay, hey. Man, all right. Having some problems here getting set up, and I see we're live now, so thank goodness. Hope you didn't hear me say any bad words or anything like that. Woo! Anyway, hey, listen, welcome all our family that's been following us and anybody new to Conversations with Geoff. We really appreciate you carving out the time and spending the next, few minutes with us. And you want to hang around, you want to make sure you got time, you want to make sure you have a pen or pad or something for those of you in the real estate business and in terms of agents and housing. You really want to be here because our guest, this gentleman is just a powerful guy. So anyway, make sure you do what I just asked you. And when you get here, let us know where you are. The chat is our way of communicating. It's our way of having a conversation, and we really value the input that you do. So make sure that you let us know where you're from. And if you're on Facebook, please put your name in there because it doesn't show up in the chat. And wherever you're from, what you like about the show, what we could do better, and any comments to show our guests some love, right? He's a busy guy, but he's committed to coming in here and delivering a powerful message, right? So anyway, thank you again for joining us here at Conversations with Geoff. And let me ask you a question. I always like to ask questions. How was your conversation you had with yourself about yourself this morning? I bet I can tell if it was uplifting or if it was one that was like hitting the snooze or whatever it was. Hey, listen, that's why we're here, right? Because our mission is to help offset that whole conversation you're having with yourself about yourself. From the moment your day starts to the end of your day and all throughout your day, right? We have the opportunity, such a gift to do the things we want to do in spite of the things that life throws up in our face, right? We all have them. And so today I thought, and for those of you new to the show, we always give you something to think about. We always ask you to participate afterwards and come back, in the next show with how this example helped you, and maybe it didn't, and why it didn't, and we can talk about that. Today, our mission, really is about empowering and inspiring folks to recognize the gift of being aware, just being aware of the conversations we have with ourselves about ourselves. And once we become aware, most of us are willing to take some action to change that, right? And we talk about that, and our speakers come in and they share their experiences when they had some problems and all these things, and they overcame adversity, and then they're still facing adversity, but they're still showing up. So it's such a gift that we have, right? So I thought I would just take a minute, and then we'll get to our guest and break down empower, right? I always like to go to the dictionary and see what it means, right? So I'm clear on it, not misusing it. And power is to give yourself permission or control. Right? So to me, that's saying, hey, we are giving you permission to give yourself permission to gain control of that situation, of the things that are processing through your head internally and externally, right? You should get excited about that, baby, because if you can gain control of it, you can make a difference, right? So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is inspired. And inspired is to make someone have a particular strong feeling or reaction. And that's background and who Transcend Conversations with Geoff is, that transition, right? Strong feeling and then taking reaction. So today and moving forward this week, I challenge you to remember what the real meaning of empower means and the gift that it has. To give yourself permission. Give yourself permission, baby, to make a difference in your world. Hit the reset button. Don't stay in that funk if you're in the funk. We all have it, right? And if you got to know that it's an exercise in consistency. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. Unfortunately, you got to get in the gym of life, I like to say, and work on it, right? All right, so that's your homework for today. So remember, empower and inspire. What do those words really mean? And what gifts do they can bring to you, okay? So, all right, let me get to the quick bio on our guest. This young man, he's kind of near and dear to my heart. Born and raised in New York City, and Moved to San Antonio in 1994 and passionate about the San Antonio housing market. You know, he's the president of real estate agency, SAAREB, and he'll tell you what that means. I don't want to mess it up. But I am a member here in Houston, but he's done a lot of things for that organization because he loves to give back and serve. He's proficient. I mean, he says proficient, but I'm saying he's a powerful man around home buying and selling. This guy, I always see him being recognized for things that he's doing for other folks. And he's humble as he receives those recognitions, right? Has 5 beautiful daughters. And he talks about why they remind him daily how he has to raise the bar towards excellence, as they should expect nothing less from their father. I love that. You fathers out there, man, this guy he raises the bar for us. Okay. All right. Travel, loves to travel. And here's something he shared, and I like this. I truly believe that your most valuable asset is not your money or your possessions, but your time. Once it's spent, it cannot be taken back. Woo! Right? So you know where this guy's coming from. So ladies and gentlemen, let me bring to the stage my friend, our guest, Brian Paris from San Antonio. All right. What's up, big fella?
Hey, how's it going? How are you?
Hey, going great, Brian. How are you today, man?
Today is pretty good. It's an orange day.
Oh, I love that. I love that for sure, man. Now, I don't know if orange is tied to the Broncos. I think they played last night. Off the subject. Anyway. So, all right, sir. So what's happening, man?
So, yeah, things are going pretty good. I got a chance to be part of a top 120 class for Keller Williams. So Keller Williams is one of the largest organizations in San Antonio. And, because of, the work that I've done, they've allowed me to be part of this top 120 mastermind. So we learn all the different things, all the different tools you can put in your tool belt to make an impact and a difference on your buyers or your sellers and stuff like that. So I came back into the office like really charged up, ready to do a whole bunch of different things. So you caught me at a good time.
Congratulations, man. Keller Williams is large, not just in San Antonio, but in the world, right? So
yes.
Again, as I mentioned to the folks in your introduction, I mean, you those are the things that you do because you do great work, right? I'm gonna stroke you a little bit, man, because
Yeah, I worked at Citibank for 29 years, and one of the things that was instilled while working at Citibank is putting the client first. They had a whole department about putting the client first, and the things that we're doing, is it benefiting you or is it benefiting the client? If it's benefiting the client, then you're on the right path. Yeah. So I've taken that with me to real estate, that we really want to focus on the client experience and making sure that not only we address problems when they happen, but also identify things that could happen and resolve them before it comes to fruition. So how do you resolve problems before they even start?
Yeah. And I guess when you got to have the answer before you know you need it, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And problems around the housing market today, man. I mean, what's the biggest thing that people are scared of, since we're talking about problems?
Man, okay. So when it comes to the market, especially here in San Antonio, twofold. So from the seller perspective, hey, my neighbor down the street sold his house for a ridiculous amount of money. I should get the same amount of money. When the market is kind of shifted, with interest rates and with the recession conversation and things like that, the market of 6 months ago is not the market of today.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's having that real honest conversation of, well, that was then, but this is now. And circling back to, again, the client experience, what are you looking for? Why are you trying to sell? Are you trying to sell because you have to move? Are you trying to sell to do something in your life? I strongly feel that my job is not to necessarily sell houses per se, but to help solve problems. And if selling the house is part of solving that problem, then I'm in the right place. So getting down to that core reason for why we're trying to move. For the buyer side of the conversation, it is the interest rates. Oh my God, the interest rates are 5.5%, 6%. Oh my God, it's pushing 7%. When we're used to, in this market, 2.5%, 3%. So my message is kind of the same. The market of today is not the market of the 2%, But if you still have a need or desire to move, how can we still use this time effectively and efficiently? I will say hands down that owning property is far better than renting.
Yeah.
So if you can stop the renting process now, you're building equity. And then when the market changes and the interest rate is 4%, then you refinance. But you're still earning equity from the time you start now till when you have to do the refinance. So it's just a lot of re-education and sharpening the tool to understand, hey, what products are out there? What things can we do to kind of lessen the blow?
Yeah. Yeah, because these are all real life situations going on in our marketplace. I want to back you up for just a second. Back to what you were talking about from the seller's perspective, and being an investor too, and working closely with real estate agents, because you guys bring us value in ways that help us assess properties and getting in the right markets, making the right decisions. But I've always wondered, and I think this will be helpful for other agents that hear this later on. What do you do with folks that they like you just said, the neighbors down the street sold their house for X amount of dollars, and I mean clearly they're two different properties, right? But they're still adamant about listing it at this price.
So the strategy is this, and I just learned this a few minutes ago. You have your premium market, you have the market price, and you have the wholesale market. And just depending on where the house is from a condition perspective, and is the market trending up, is it trending down, you have to be realistic with the numbers. So it's not me saying this. I'm going to show you the market right here. I'm going to show you what is shown in the last 6 months, or sorry, the last 3 months, and let's compare. That house down the street was 355, and let's look at the house. Is your house comparable? Is that a nicer looking house? Is it So having the facts and the data kind of help answer that question. But if the seller says, you know what, I'm insistent on doing this, okay, we'll try it for 10 days and see how the market responds. Because to be honest, I don't set the market price. Neither does the seller. The market sets the market price. So if we sit on the market for 10, 15 days and nothing happens, that's the market saying, hey, we need to make an adjustment. And are you okay with that?
Right. And that's really important what you just shared. And I think that the agents that are properties, they won't make that conversation around, hey, let's look at it in 10 days. That property will be listed at that retail price for months sometimes. And then they get discouraged because it's not selling. So I think that little nugget.
Exactly.
Yeah. Set it up front, 10 days, and we adjust that. And what do you do with people that say, no, I don't want, at 10 days, they don't adjust it, and they change their mind? What do you do with those folks?
So, when you have a client, a seller that's insistent on this number, I need to find out the why. Help me understand why you feel this is the right price. I take pride in knowing the numbers, knowing the facts, and showing, the homes that were listed at this price range, got showings, and we're sitting at 0. So either A, the price that we have listed is not not working properly, or 2, we may need to make some other adjustments. We can either bring the house up to standard, because maybe the house has 355 or whatever, it's got granite countertops and, wood flooring, and it's been staged and painted, and your house still has carpet. So are you willing to change that carpet to get the price you want? It depends on what the motivation is, and that's a key driver.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, eventually people will hear themselves talking themselves into a different decision. If you're really after what's helping them out, right? I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, because I see too many new agents that get discouraged because it doesn't sell. So I hope they hear what you're talking about now and giving them some ideas about how they can, do it differently. Right.
Yeah. Having those upfront conversations, but let the numbers speak. Because again, like I said earlier, I don't set the price, and neither do you. If you're not getting the showings, then maybe there's something wrong with the pictures. If you're getting the showing but no offers, there's something about the house that's detracting people from making an offer. Maybe it smells like fish. I don't know. But being more.
Oh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hang on for a moment.
There we go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Can you hear us okay?
So, yeah. I just got a call. That was it.
Okay. Well, I thought it was me. This whole technology piece still kind of it throws a curveball at it. So it's good. All good, my friend. Well, I don't mean to beat a dead horse around this. I just think that the market is shifting, like you mentioned, and you're not going to see houses flying off, like they have been, and
right.
So, I think now it becomes getting better at your profession.
Exactly. So one of the things that when we hear the conversation about the market, and when we look at the news and getting all involved with that, it's sensationalism. Oh, the market is crashing. This is a recession, and oh my God, the sky is falling, which is a challenge, right? Because it's still an issue. So what is actually changing? What's changing is the amount of time it's sitting on the market. So what I'm envisioning is when the interest rates go up, people get scared. Well, I'm not going to buy a house now. That reduces the number of buyers. So the ones that used to be able to afford are falling out of the market, and the smart buyers are shifting down. So this is not going to be my 3 to 5 year home. This is my 7 to 10 year home. So houses are still selling. So there were still transactions that are happening. But when you overprice your house and it sits at the top of the market for an excessive amount of time, then people start getting nervous. And that kind of paints the theory that, yes, the market is crashing. If you look at San Antonio specifically from last year to this year, there is no decline in the prices of homes. Home prices are not going down when you look at it year over year. At a rolling 12 months, it's not going down.
Okay.
What is happening though, you'll come across the post-summer move. So prices will adjust, but over time, especially as an investor, year over year, you're building and getting more equity. Yeah. So is it a good time to buy? Absolutely, because year over year, that home is going to be worth more as time goes along. Well, I'm going to wait until the interest rates go down. I don't know when that is. It may go down, it may go down a little bit, but in the meanwhile, if you buy now, year over year, you'll still continue to build and gain equity, which gives you leverage in the future.
That's important, man.
That's my belief. It is.
That's important, because people they see, oh, I'll save this, but they don't. And you teach them, hey, let's look at the big picture. As a homeowner,
what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
I always talk about when I pass away, my kids will get my house, and if I say, hey, I'm just going to rent for the rest of my life, there's no house to get. I can't use that house and get a home equity loan and pay my kids' tuition for college. I can't use that home equity loan to start a business or something like that. So, sometimes we lose out on the short-term vision of just renting until it feels right. We have to dive in. And in investing, there's this term with dollar cost averaging. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
When you buy regardless, and sometimes you buy at a little higher price, sometimes you buy a little lower price, but overall you're still buying, you're still investing. Dollar cost averaging, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So,
and that's how we do it. It's you have to look at it from several different perspectives, man. But the homeowner, though, which is who you serve the majority of, I really wanted them to hear what we're talking about now. Because some people are sitting on the sidelines, and I don't necessarily think that's the right thing.
It depends on the circumstance. Now, one thing that I will say, if you are not mentally and emotionally ready for the work involved with owning a home, not paying for a home, owning a home, then let's get you the knowledge and information up to speed so you feel comfortable and confident. It's not calling the super and saying, hey, come fix my sink. Now you have to do it. So one of the things that SAREV does offer is a home maintenance class. I think we do a really good job as realtors getting first-time home buyers up and over the hump into buying a home. but sometimes, they get ghosted. So now the AC goes out or there's a plumbing problem and they don't know who to call.
Yeah.
So we have to have that home maintenance class. So you can take that $5 change of AC filter and not make it a $5,000 AC replacement.
Yeah, I mean that's great, man. Because like you said, a lot of times first-time home buyers have come from a generation of renting.
Exactly.
There's not been anybody that's owned a home that can help them with some of the fundamentals, man.
Exactly. That's a pain point for first-time home buyers. And like you said, my daughter, she turns 26 and she buys her first house. She's gonna have me. I know what to do, but a lot of people they don't. They don't know what to do. So then it becomes a deferred maintenance issue. And now you start losing equity because now when it's time to sell, I can't sell it for market price. I've got to sell it for less because you haven't changed the air filters out in 10 years. Something like that.
And a simple thing like that, or you haven't cleaned your dryer filter, for years.
Exactly.
Pull your refrigerator. The newer refrigerators aren't as bad, but, just things like small maintenance to keep your appliances running more efficiently. So I'm glad you guys are doing that, man. And so I think you have something that's coming up too. You want to talk about that opportunity you guys are doing here in a couple of days?
Absolutely. Yes. So let me give you a little bit of story about SAREP. SAREP is a nonprofit organization that is focused on African American home ownership. We all know that home ownership is the beginning of generational wealth. And when we start passing houses down from one generation to the next or making wiser decisions, over time, our families get stronger and do better. So sometimes what happens is, I think one of the biggest hurdles we have in our history is education. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know.
Yes.
And in order for us to learn it, we have to have the opportunities to learn it. But sometimes what gets in the way is the fact that I've got kids, I've got to manage, so I can't bring my kids to these events. So I'm just going to not attend.
Yeah.
So we're offering a single parent's guide to home ownership. And also on the flip side of that too, sometimes when the relationship ends, we feel depressed or we lose track, we lose ourselves sometimes in the process. And, we're going to have somebody that can talk to single parents specifically saying that, hey, this is something that you can do. You can do it still. Here's how it works. But you can bring your kids to that event. We're going to have pizza. We'll have movies. We'll have, something for them to do while you're getting the learning. So if you want to go, but you don't know what to do with your kids, bring the kids. We got them.
Oh man, we laugh about that, but there is a large population of single parents that are in that situation. And for you guys to
100%,
take it,
100%.
Yeah, take the initiative and be aware of that, and then create something for them. I mean, that's powerful because I wrote down the beginning of generational wealth. And that's always been your message. I met you, and
it is.
So
we have the link that it's on. We have the link that's on the sarep.com website, and I think I gave Stephanie the link to put in the chat as well.
Yes, it is.
It's
I
gonna
see
be
it now.
Okay, good. Free to attend. We'll have some food. Bring your kids as long as they're potty trained. I'm not changing diapers.
Diaper changing, man. Come on. Ooh. I don't blame you there, buddy.
Yeah. The other class that we're doing is geared towards the 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 40, 50-year-olds. It's called the Adulting 101 class, and it's everything you need to know about finances. When I was 19 and 18, I didn't learn from my parents about money. We didn't learn. Back in the 70s, we didn't talk about it. So I learned the hard way, which is okay, but I still learned the hard way. So what we did, and we had a session back in September where we took a bunch of people, we sat in a room. It wasn't the formal stand in front of a classroom with books and TV, we just sat in a room with food and chairs and talked about money. And it was beautiful. I think it worked out really well because the participants led the learning. They'd ask a question and then somebody else had an answer, and they asked another question, and somebody else had an answer, and we collaborated together on what things we can do. We had some subject matter experts in different fields, but we had a couple of slides to kind of get the conversation started. But after that, it was off to the races. We talked about credit, we talked about banking, we talked about budgeting, we talked about mental health, we talked about jobs. It was a great opportunity because it covered topics that the young adults, the post-millennials, needed to know before they move out.
Yeah.
You know, hey, how do you write a check, or what's the benefit of a bank versus a credit union? Things like that, you know, now they know. Yeah. So we're redoing it again on November 5th. It's going to be at the Moad Center from 12 to 2. Again, there should be a link in the chat. Everybody is welcome. We're going to have a Zoom function as well. So, you know, if you can't attend in person, we'll do it through Zoom also.
Wow. Now, are you reaching out to the schools too, or is it that are they a little too young? High schools, college? How are you marketing?
No. The perfect audience is that 17, 16-year-old, because now they're starting to formulate what their life is going to be.
Gotcha.
My daughter's 14, and she was like, I want to live in France. Okay. Okay.
I love that.
And then, so how much money do I need to make so that I can live in France? Oh, okay. All right. And this is 14. So I think the younger generations are getting hip to some of the finances. Yes. So we've got to provide an avenue to answer those questions so they can, you know, not make the mistakes that I did, have an American Express card at 19 years old, thinking that I was the man, didn't have a job. Yeah, that's just a whole nother story.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, I'm laughing at myself hearing you share about the Amex. We'll have to have a session.
Let me tell you about the Mitsubishi Galana 19%. We'll talk about that too.
Yeah. Oh man, ignorance is bliss, my friend. You know, but making a difference, things that you're doing is so powerful, so important. You know, so I wrote that down. I hope we can attend that. Is Zoom also?
Yes. There'll be a Zoom link that's going to be out. We'll make sure that we can get as many people in there as possible.
Yeah, man, that's incredible, man. And our granddaughter is 12, not too far behind your 14-year-old, and she's already aspiring to be abroad and have that opportunity, man. So it's amazing the difference you make, you know, and the exposure to learning, right?
There's something that, you know, when you come back from being overseas and seeing how the other side of the world lives, that you really, really, really appreciate what you have here in the U.S. It's just amazing, you know.
Because you travel quite a bit. You travel quite a bit in your lifetime, haven't you?
Yeah. So when I worked at Citibank, I was the offshore training manager. So I had a chance to travel to India and the Philippines and Guatemala and Costa Rica and Mexico, and work in the call centers there to help, you know, the trainers, you know, deliver the content. So, you know, you get a chance to talk with them and just see what their life is like. Yeah. And then, you know, we definitely take things here for granted. I'll be honest with that.
Well, you know, I was talking to another associate just yesterday about the difference in how we view our lives here in America versus someone that, you know, is living with dirt floors or, you know, no running water. I mean, some of the people mentioned a couple of the countries that are impacted significantly by poverty and through poverty, and then we are here and we have it all and take it for granted.
Yep, we do. Not everybody, but yeah, we take a lot of our things for granted. You know, we I don't want to do that because I'm not doing that. I'd never do. You may have to.
Yeah, never say never, right? I mean, you know, it's
absolutely.
You know, the American dream is still alive. They're just not handing it out. That's old ET's message.
I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah, man, American dream is still alive. They're just not handing it out. You know, so and home ownership is still alive. They're just not handing it out.
Yeah, you have to be wise about it. You got to be smart about it. So times passed. Um, you didn't need to have a really good credit score. You didn't need to have a whole bunch of money. So those times have changed. So here we are now in this higher interest rate. You need a little bit of money to the table. So let's talk about what we need to do to accomplish that goal.
Please.
Um, and there is a path to home ownership. Sometimes the path is 30 days. You've got a 780 credit score. You've got 20 grand in the bank. Home ownership is 30 days. Sometimes that path is 6 months. Sometimes that path is 2 years. So, as long as you're on the path, we're in a good place. Let's just figure out how to get there, and let's stay on the path.
Yeah. Well, how do you reach that person that looks at the path and it's so far out to them in their mind, right? I mean, they just can't connect to that. How do you reach that person?
The key to reaching that person is following up and staying in contact with them. Celebrating their small victories from one stage to the other. Hey,
Yeah.
let's go from 580 to 600. Hey, that's fantastic. Let's go from nothing in the bank to $1,000 in the bank for home ownership. Hey, that's fantastic. Keep it up. You're doing a good job. Helping them stay motivated, because it's just like with anything else that we have a long-term goal for. I want to lose 50 pounds. Hey, let's celebrate the first 5 pounds.
Yeah.
And then let's celebrate the next 5 pounds and the next 5 pounds. So next thing you know, you're halfway through and like, hey, I lost 50 pounds. That's pretty good. So keeping them motivated and engaged throughout the time is one way of staying, helping them hit their goals
Yeah.
and being that
Yeah.
resource when they have questions.
I was getting ready to say, man, and being the resource around them. And I mean, your life hasn't always been where you are now, man. And you talk about juggling work and life balance, but when you were back in that space and buying an Amex card and all those other things, what can you share with that person that was the old you that you don't want them to repeat?
All right. So looking back at my mid-20s self,
Yeah.
think about the future. Be intentional with what you're doing. If you have a goal of doing something, then live that goal and do it. I'll paint a good picture for you. My nephew wanted to buy a car, and that's all he wanted to do. He was just fixated on, okay, well, great, you want to buy a car? Let's pick out the car you want right now. Let's go to the dealership. Let's sit in the car. I want you to see it. I want you to smell it. I'm gonna take a picture of you in the car. And then that's going to be the carrot in front of the horse.
Yeah.
So everything that you do from this point forward should be moving you towards that car. Hey, I feel like hanging out with my friends. Okay, is that helping you take one step closer to the car? Or is there something else you can be doing that'll take you that one step closer? Okay, so that helps you level set and manage expectations. So everything you do, if you have a goal, everything you do should be one step closer to that goal.
Yeah, I like that. I wrote down being intentional.
Intentional.
And man, that's easier said than done, though, right? Especially at that age.
It is. But the thing is, if you have a team, think about it like this. Okay, so you're a running back, and your goal as a running back is to score the touchdown. But in order to do that, you need to have a defensive end, you need to have quarterback, you need to have everybody who's working with you to move that line forward. So you can certainly accomplish the goal if you have a team around you, if you have like-minded partners that support you. We call it an accountability coach. So having an accountability coach to make sure that you are on point, that helps you accomplish the goal. So if you're 17, 18, 19, you want to accomplish a goal, build your team. Who's going to be supporting you to move that goal forward? And if they're not on the team, hey, man, let's go hang out, man, let's do this, man, forget that, that's never going to happen. Cut them from the team. Seriously. Surround yourself with people that are always in your corner, that help, that they know this is the right thing for you and help you deliver to the goal line. I've been blessed when I've had people around me. Again, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just saying it's funny you mentioned that. I see your team. As we wind down, we want to talk about your immediate team, your agency team, and how that came together as we kind of wind down. I see you guys. I'm so proud of you. I met some of the folks on your team, just amazing how you guys are
Yeah.
continuing to go.
So Venus Marshall, she's on the team. It's just she and I right now. She holds me accountable, and I hold her accountable. We
Yeah,
have goals, and this is what we're trying to do, and everything we do is towards that goal. So
yeah,
if this doesn't fit the goal of having appointments to talk to, then we put it secondary, put it tertiary, something like that. So that accountability is important. And even here at Keller Williams, when I can rub elbows with like $1 million producers, and I mean that's a fantastic motivator. Every time I go to one of those mega meetings, I come back with pages of information that I can help put into the team and help do better at what I thought I did good already.
yeah. I like that. Do better than what you thought you did good already. Man, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And Venus, I've had the opportunity to meet with her and talk to her on a couple different occasions. And just a pleasant person, knowledgeable, hardworking, and committed to the same things you are. So I applaud both of you. As you
Yeah,
guys
she's a great agent.
Yeah, she is, man. And you are too, my friend. So you
Thank you.
don't mind me sharing a little bit about you, man. I mean, I do that. But listen, man, so many other things I wanted to get to, and we've kind of touched on a lot of them. As we kind of wind down these next couple of minutes, there's one thing I wanted to ask you, and so people that are kind of like caught up in, just the craziness of life in terms of the housing market, the economy, is an economic winter, the family, the school. I mean, what can you share that was similar in your life when that, you made a comment here about getting back to the basics, being flexible. And so tell me, what do you want to impart on us as we kind of wind this down?
So I guess the first thing that's important to me is just making sure that you're putting your family first. I'm gonna say my wife is the fuel to the rocket. I can't do half the stuff that I've done if it wasn't for her support. So I mean, she's an amazing woman. I mean, my goodness. So making sure that she's taken care of, and we do things together. We cut out some time to help build that bond and build bonds with the family. That's important. I do work a lot of hours, and sometimes that work-life balance is difficult, but you have to put aside time to spend time with the family. Money's no fun if you have nobody to spend it on.
I love that. Yeah. Well, you got some brownie points for that, man. Make sure your wife hears this last part, man.
Yes.
I'm sure she knows already, right? I mean, I'm sure she knows already.
She's fantastic. I couldn't do what I do without her.
Yeah. No, I believe me, I know that I feel the same way. People laugh at me all the time and said, what's it say when you get traded up or you went beyond your reach or whatever it might be. Oh, yeah. Man. So I admit it, I ain't crazy. I know what's going on, man. So and then your 5 girls, what message, when they hear this later on years from now, what message do you want to leave them as we kind of wrap up?
So of the 5 daughters, we have a blended family. So, just being that cheerleader from the side sometimes, making sure that they know that I 100% support them, what they're doing. That's helpful to them. They have their dad. Their dad is fully active in their life. I'm thankful for him. But now they have 2. Now, they can bounce ideas off both of us. And we both have different perspectives on things. And between the 2 of us, we have a nice blend of knowledge and information. So it's really, really, really great. There's no animosity in the house. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to say that. If I'm fully on board with, if they have ideas, well, let's flesh this one out. Let's see how this one goes. And yeah, it's been pretty cool. And my daughter, she's up in Round Rock. She's got her little baby girl. So I'm a grandfather now.
Nice.
Yeah. At first, the DNA for the grandfather gene kind of kicked in. I was like, hey, I feel like spending some money on my granddaughter. That sounds like fun. Let's go do that.
I love it.
So it's really
Welcome
good.
to the Pop Club, my friend.
I know. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you're really guys. It's such a blessing to have a loving blended family. You know, it doesn't happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
yeah, so that's awesome, man. Well, listen, I don't know if we gave you the opportunity to tell people how to get in touch with you. You mentioned your trainings and that. So if somebody wants more information from you, how would they do that? Where would they find you?
Very simply, you can call or text me at 210-445-8963, or you can email me at bmparis@hotmail.com. I get more comments about the Hotmail thing. Yeah, Hotmail. It's been around for a while.
Hotmail's like
Hotmail.
SPC Global.
Yes. At least it's not the AOL.com.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got your information in the chat, man. So listen, again, thank you for taking the time out and dropping the nuggets. Please, if you're here with us now or you hear this later, make sure you get signed up for the classes that he has going on. And he means it when he puts his number out there. If you have any question around housing or you have some family members that could use what he's providing, please make sure you reach out. You don't have to be in San Antonio to get connected. The universe today is one click away. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Brian takes advantage of the technology available, man. So, hey, well, listen, my friend, all good things must come to an end. It's been a pleasure, and really proud of you and glad that we've been able to maintain a relationship and looking forward to more things to come in the future.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to having dinner with you and your wife when you get here to San Antonio.
Yeah, man. We'll get that set up and let's keep this ball moving, my friend.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, thanks, Brian Paris. Hang in there, man. We'll talk again later. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Hey, Nikki says great video and some other folks awesome and powerful. So we appreciate the feedback.
Love it.
Be in touch. All right.
Okay.
Thanks. Well, hey, listen, everybody. I really appreciate you all coming in here and supporting us and showing Brian some love as always. And make sure that you get these other events on your calendar and share it with your family members. Get it out in the community, right? If you're a church-going person, take it to church. Get it out there in the schools. Let's begin to use this information to empower our community, to inspire them, and then make a difference, right? I mean, home ownership is one of the keys to beginning to build wealth. And too often, our grandparents pass and the home gets caught up in probate and it never makes it to who it's supposed to, or we give it and we have somebody stay in it that isn't responsible and we don't charge them rent, we don't treat it like a business, and we end up losing it because the taxes aren't paid and the properties run down. Hey, listen, these are real life scenarios, and that's why we bring folks on here like Brian that can help you understand the power and knowledge. He mentioned education. He mentioned being intentional about what you're doing, right? And these are the tools that you can have to do that. So, again, check them out. Be sure to do that. And now I want to close this meeting with a couple things that I'm going to challenge you with. One is remember empowerment, where we started, and inspire. Look at the definitions and start to embrace those things to make a difference. And then I want to invite you to our free 3-day challenge. Moving into the real estate space for just a moment. We have Build Your Flipping Business for female investors that are dedicated to doing the work, got a lot of education, got everything figured out they thought, and then they got ready to take action and then they're stuck, not sure what to do first, or made a couple mistakes maybe, or bumped your head a little bit and still stuck again. I really encourage you to register for our free 3-day challenge, November 2nd through the 3rd, 2, 3, 4. And the details should be in the chat, so you can get that. I don't want to mess it up, but it's a free 3-day challenge. Join the Facebook group, because in that Facebook group, we're going to have free training sessions all set. Hey, Nick, appreciate you registering for that. Free training sessions all up into the conference. And then, most importantly, think about doing the upgrade. It's an investment in yourself, and the upgrade is going to get you into an opportunity to kind of come together after each session. And we drill it down. We spend, as much time as you want to spend in those times to do that piece of it. You get more information from me and more about me in that time frame. So, look, as we close this up, please reach out to my friend Brian Paris if you need something, anything around real estate in terms of buying or selling your home. Have a question about being an agent. Brian's passionate about building information for new agents to kind of get them off into the business or get you unstuck as an agent. This guy will do that. So make sure you reach out to him. Get registered for the challenge. We have a session coming up this Saturday. I'm not sure the time, but the information's in there. Join the Facebook group. Build your flipping business, baby. Going from stuck to unstoppable. And let's begin to change these situations that we face in the investing side. One house at a time, one project at a time. And there is no better time than now for you to go from stuck to unstoppable. Take the bridge. That bridge, we all cross them all the time, right? What do bridges do? They carry us over the gap, right? Thank goodness for bridges. Can you imagine, and I'm going to be quiet, can you imagine back in the day going across the country in your horse and buggy and you come to a ravine? Ooh, you either stay where you are, you go down there and you live down at the bottom, or you try and go down and come back up the other side. Ooh, don't do that in building your real estate investing business. Let us be that bridge. Come to us at the challenge. And as always, the conversations with Geoff, we thank everybody for all your support. The only thing we ask you to do is participate with the homework. Stay empowered, stay inspired, and join us next time. We appreciate everybody for being here. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye. I think so too. Awesome. Hey, Venus.
Hey, how's it going?
Going well. How are you today?
Doing well, very well.
Yeah, that is